Hello everyone. I was asked to build an additional video for MotionBuilder that shows us how to mix together prepared motion capture files in the MotionBuilder Story window. In order to prepare motion capture files to be used in the Story window, we have to go through the prepping process, and the prepping process is covered in one of the other videos I have on my channel here, this one, Class 3 mocap prep. So if you want to check that out to determine how to prepare your files for use in the Story window, that would be the video that will show you. So the two files I'm going to import here are already prepped. So what I have is the gremlin creature, and the gremlin creature has a control rig. So what I'm going to do here in the Story window is add the gremlin to the Story window. So I'm going to right click in here and do insert, and this is almost cut off, but I think you can see it, character animation track. And then from the character, I'm going to choose the gremlin. Then I need to import my motion capture files that I want to mix here. So I'm going to right click on the timeline and choose insert animation file. And then I'll grab my prepped file. So my prepped files, I put an underscore CR on it so I know that it has a control rig. So I'll grab this one and say open. And there is the clip. I'll just put it at frame 0. And if I run through the timeline, we can see that the gremlin now does this kick file. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually trim this off to this point here where the gremlin lands on the ground and straightens out, maybe right about here. So I'll come down to the Story window clip, and I'm going to cut it right there. I could do that a number of ways. I could use my razor tool, or I could just grab this edge and slide it back. It's just like working with a video editing application. So I just trimmed this clip back to frame 133. So now the gremlin doesn't do anything after that. And now what I can do is bring in my second file that I want to blend with this. So I'm going to again right click on the Story window and choose insert animation file, and I have one other prepped file in here called knockout underscore CR for control rig. You can name this whatever you want. That's what I use just so I know whether the file has been prepped or not. So I'll hit open, and now if I run through this, we see there's the knockout file. So the key to this is, first of all, putting the clips close together for our initial blend. And then what we want to do is we want to turn on the little view, or it's called show hide ghost is the official name of this. So if I turn that on, it's going to show me the clips that are next to each other. And whatever clip I currently have active, we'll see the other clip next to it or ghosted behind it. So the trick here is to get whichever body part you want lined up as best as possible before we actually do like a crossfade or a blend to this. So we can use our move and our rotate tools to do this. So I'm going to start with my move tool. So whichever clip I have selected down here, I'm going to see my move tool on that particular clip. So here's the kicks, that's the first clip, and I'm seeing the move tool here to edit the position of that clip. Or if I want to edit the position of the knockout clip, I can select the knockout clip, and now I have the move indicator on that. So if I go to the end of the kick file right here, I can see, oops, I went one frame too far. Come back right there. I can see where the foot is, and what I'm looking for is the foot that's planted. Of the 2 feet, which one is planted more? So it looks like that's my right foot right there. So now what I'm going to do is select the knockout clip and move it. See, there's the right foot right there on the knockout clip. I'm going to move that as close as possible to line it up with the previous clip. So I think right about there is pretty close. So now if I just turn the ghost off for a second, I can see what kind of transition I have. So see how the foot stays almost in the same spot, and I get a little bit of a pop because there's no crossfading here at all yet. So now what I could do is just push the knockout clip into the kicks clip a little bit. So that starts to create a crossfade right there. So that's one way to blend them together. So that doesn't look too bad. But if I want to get even a better blend, what I can do is select the body part that I want to use as an anchor. So I'm going to select the right leg. This is the right leg I'm working on. I think I was saying right leg, I hope. So the right leg. And then I can use the match tool here. Now there's an auto match, but I like to just do it manually. So it's important to select the clip you want to, or the clip, I'm sorry, the body part you want to use as an anchor first, because if you come into the match tool here, it will have that item automatically highlighted for you. Otherwise, you have to go through this really long list of what body part you want to match with. So that's why this is a little bit easier. Select it first, then open up the match. And then what I want to say here is, what do I want to match to? Well, I'm on the knockout clip, so I want to match to the previous clip. And it asks where I want to match, and I can say at the start of the selected clip, which makes sense also. And then what do I want to match? Translation or rotation? I'm going to match both. So I'm actually not changing anything in here. And I'll hit OK. And I might get a slight pop there, but then you can see, oh, actually it is still sliding a little bit. So I might want to come back and just use the ghosting tool to edit that a little bit more. So let's see, we are right here. So let me zoom in on the feet again, just to see what they look like. I don't like that slipping that's occurring. So it looks like the character's slipping forward. So actually what I'm going to do is just move the knockout clip. I have the knockout clip selected, and I'm using the ghost tool here. I'm going to slide that back forward again and see what that gives me. Nope, I'm still getting some slippage. Let me match that one more time. So let me turn off ghost, and I'll hit the match button. I want to match the right ankle effector. I'll say OK. Slides it back a little bit. Maybe I don't want to have quite as much of a mix. Am I still getting a pop there? I am still getting a pop. All right, so let me crossfade those one more time. So it really, not to carry this video on for too long, it's a balancing act here, or juggling act might be a better word for it, to sort of move these around using move the clips around to match using the ghost button, and then using the match button to help lock a certain body part in place. So I still have a few edits to do here. What I might do at this point is actually bake this down, because right now I'm working out of the story window, and we can't use animation layers over here while we're still working in the story window. So what I would have to do is right click in here on the story window and choose plot whole scene to current take, like this. And I never change the options in here in the plot options. So now what I'm doing is I basically baked it down to the actual character's timeline, and I can turn off the story window. So this is now inactive, and now I'm working right on keyframes on the timeline, which will now allow me to come in here and add a new animation layer, and then maybe further edit that foot plant so that it stays in place. So that's the basic process for mixing tracks in MotionBuilder. So I hope that helps.